Hey friends, welcome back to the Guitar Max channel. So let me ask you, are you on team delay or team reverb? Most guitarists have a preference, or at least they could come up with a clear answer if they were forced to choose. Personally, I'm a hard-line delay-ian. And look, I'm not saying I'm anti-reverb, but it's just not for me. But live and let live, you know. Well, what if you didn't want to choose? What if you wanted both? Then Sonicake's Levitate pedal is for you, and the best part is it only costs about $55. Okay, so the Levitate pedal combines delay and reverb units into one pedal. You can toggle them off and on independently, and of course you can run both at the same time. Now, fortunately for people like me, it has very straightforward controls. So let's look at this. The four knobs on the left are kind of split into two sections. You've got just how much of a reverb effect you want, and then you have a decay control, so how long you want that effect to last, you know, how long the tail is going to be on it. And on the right side here, these are the delay controls. You've got a feedback control and then a time control. Now over on the right side, we've got two overall mix controls, and this is really cool because you can mix, you know, you got one control for the dry and one control for the wet, and then you can mix them together to get just the perfect amount of effect in your overall signal. You've got two foot switches down here, one to toggle the delay off and on, and one to toggle the reverb off and on. And there's something that's extra cool about these switches down here. If you hold these down, you can see down here it says hold for trail or hold for tap. I hope that makes sense, and you'll hear it in the demo in just a minute. Now, one thing I really like about the delay part of this pedal is that you can get very long delays, up to 2,000 milliseconds, which is, of course, 2 seconds. A lot of the cheaper analog delay pedals, they kind of max out at around 600 milliseconds, which is okay, but being able to get, you know, a really, really long delay like you can with this pedal, it opens up a lot of other options for you for your playing and how you're going to use the effect. So Sonicake has a few of these newer pedals that kind of combine different effects. Like they've got this one, which is delay and reverb. Then they have another one which combines a bunch of different modulation type effects. And the cool thing is these new pedals, they're very nicely built. You know, this is all metal construction and everything. And they all cost around 50 bucks, which is really cool. And I think these, quality-wise, are a step up. They're definitely an upgrade from the mini pedals that Sonicake started out doing. The other thing that's nice is these include Velcro tape for mounting on a pedal board, but there's no battery compartment. These do not run off of a battery, so keep that in mind. So you're going to need a standard 9-volt DC power supply, and these this one sucks about 90 milliamps of power, so pretty low in terms of power consumption. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and plug this in and listen to how it sounds. But real quick guys, if you enjoy videos like this, checking out cool, new, affordable guitar gear, and also staying up on all the latest news in the guitar universe, and you have not already subscribed for some reason, please consider subscribing right now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and plug this in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this in the effects loop of my Boss IR200 amp and cabinet simulator. I like to use that thing on a bunch of different demos. It goes for around $3.99, so it's not like a super expensive amp setup, and it has an effects loop, which is how I'm going to rig this in. Okay, so let's go ahead and get everything plugged in and listen to how this sounds. Okay guys, so let's talk a little bit more about this pedal. Now I mentioned something before the demo, and that is that I placed this in the effects loop of the amp I was using, or in this case the amp simulator I was using. And that's traditionally where you would put a reverb or a delay effect. You put that in the effects loop because you generally want those effects to apply to, everything else that is coming first. In particular, if you're using any distortion or overdrive, you want all of that effect to happen first. That way, when it gets to the delay, you're getting a very clean repeat, right? The delay is like the echo or repeat effect. You're getting a very clean repeat of the signal that's coming in before it. Now, if you're doing a style of music like doom metal or some kind of like ambient post-rock, where the goal is not necessarily to have pleasant sounds, like you want something that sounds a little weird or abrasive, then in that case you can get some really strange effects, kind of psychedelic stuff, if you put the delay in front of the amp, not in the effects loop. And so you get these really weird effects where it's delaying the guitar signal and then that goes into the gain, into the distortion or the overdrive or something like that. So you can experiment with that. But if you want just a nice, clean, pristine, very pleasant sound, and all the stuff I was doing in the demo, then you want to set this up in the effects loop. And really, if you're looking for a single pedal to run in your effects loop of your amplifier, this is a perfect choice, because delay and reverb is exactly what you would put in the effects loop. And this one pedal combines both of these things, and you can turn them off and on independently, to taste, right? So this is, if you're looking for, like I said, a single pedal to run in your effects loop, this is a great choice right here. Now, I was already talking about the fact that the delay portion of this pedal gives you some really, really nice long delays, which I really like. So I love the delay part of this pedal. I wouldn't change anything about it, really. The reverb here, there are different sort of flavors of reverb, and it all has to do with how that reverb was originally achieved, right? There are different sounds, types of reverb: spring reverb, digital reverb, plate reverb, this kind of stuff. Now, of course, this is a pedal. I mean, you're not going to have like a spring pedal reverb or something like that. I mean, that does exist, but you don't traditionally have that. So this is kind of emulating a particular kind of reverb, and they went with a plate reverb, right? That's the sound you're getting out of this reverb. Personally, for me, it's not my favorite reverb sound. I would prefer a real kind of a more modern digital reverb sound. I would rather have that in a pedal like this, especially when there's such a nice, clean delay section. But that being said, that all comes down to personal preference and the type of reverb that sounds good to you. And different players, different musicians are going to have a different preference for this kind of stuff. So, I mean, definitely the controls are great on here. You have a lot of control over how much reverb and the characteristics of it and that kind of stuff. But the underlying sound is a plate reverb. And for me, it's just not my favorite sound. Now, the other thing to consider with this, right, is this is a super affordable pedal, $55, and a lot of these Sonicake pedals are going for around $50 to $60, right in that price range. But something that I checked out recently, I think last month, was the Sonicake Matribox, which is a multi-effects board. It's like a really small, compact, very affordable multi-effects board. And that thing costs $130. So if you're looking at these different pedals, and there's like a few of them that you want to get, if you are going to get more than 2 of these pedals, well then price-wise, you've already exceeded the price of that multi-effects unit. So I'll put a link to that video where I was reviewing that unit down in the video description below if you want to check out how it sounds. But of course, it's got this huge array of effects to choose from. It includes a reverb and a delay and a bunch of other things. Okay guys, so let me know what you thought about this down in the comments section below. And yeah, what camp do you guys fall into, delay or reverb? If you had to choose, which one would you go for? Personally, I always love a good delay pedal. Alright guys, thanks a ton for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. There's going to be links to everything I was talking about down in the video description below. I will have a link for the Boss IR200, the pedal that I was talking about in the video, of course, plus that other video I did a while back about the Sonicake Matribox. All that stuff down in the video description below. Guys, thanks a ton for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk to you very soon.